Okay, we're back to not being able to point and film, so I just have to do this the best I can. And more than likely I'll have to go off the internet after this. It's seeming like that, because this is how it's been the last at least 72 hours. Okay, the time is 1:26 p.m. It's Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. So, I don't know if I should do this without a sound machine. Really, I should not. Okay. Does it go a lot smoother? It'll go a lot smoother if I just have a sound machine. I put the phone mic to my mouth and we just get going, okay? So I cannot point and shoot. I cannot film anything, okay? I made that clear, so I'm just gonna do my best. Right here where I'm sitting, since they've been setting up the room underneath the floor in my extra room as a workspace for chopped up dead bodies and chemical dissolvents. Since that has been happening, the stenches right here where I'm sitting, this chair, you know, the track, everyone's aware of this area, for just the dead corpses themselves have doubled. I always reported that it got really bad with that criminal action of dead corpses being stuffed in this track underneath me. Well, it got twice as bad. So, I mean, it's just any time in a 24-hour cycle, I'll be here, I'll be sleeping, whatever, and I get woken up because it's so atrocious and terrifying and horrible, or I'm sitting here and I suddenly have to start panting and breathing through my mouth in order to not smell a dead fucking rotting body within fucking feet from me that's coming from underneath the floor in that track that I have filmed right beneath my chair. All right, and I am not at liberty to say how long those stenches last or exactly where I'm identifying them come from, which is in this track underneath my chair. Okay, good. So on and on and on and on and on and on and on, just endless. Clear and overt combat has been occurring in this house. I'm not at liberty to say where, but it's coming from the areas without any question, okay, unequivocally. Those holes in walls that they have carved out from the property conjunct to this one. That property that I am unequivocally, concretely positive the combat is coming from is 1507 S3 Northwest. So that's the problem area. But it starts to act up in 1511. Both units conjunct to 1509 have terrorists that come through a hole in the wall they cut out in the wall, okay, without any question. And you hear the whole thing. I witness and I hear the whole thing every single last time that they come in. All right, but I can't say where, and I can't start pointing and shooting and doing anything like that. So the combat is loud, it's frightening. It makes you go like this to get it over and clear how frightening it is. You go, you catch your breath, you know what I mean? You go, and then you cover your mouth with your hand because you're so freaked while your eyes are bulging out, and you look over to the area where the combat just took place. That's how loud, fierce, ferocious, completely unbelievable, violent, fucking armed conflict is going on inside of this property. And like clockwork, there's dead bodies that engulf the house. Now, to how many dead bodies I know unequivocally, concretely, they have stuffed in this place all at once in one night. How, like what I've called mass graveyard, or to just say one or two corpses, there's stuff in everywhere. I am not at liberty to say a word about that. Only that this combat sense around, like, oh, I can't say when, because I am concretely aware of how bad it's gotten. Oh, yeah. Well, one would be aware if one's sitting in the middle of it. All right, so just for a duration here of time in the recent past, that's all I can say. The combat has gotten 3 times worse, louder, ferociouser, just fucking horrendous. All right, and the corpses in here is just stationed, it's staple. This is a house of chopped up dead body parts, stuffed bodies under the wall, chemical dissolvent, and everything horrendous. It's also a house where they fry them up, the human organs and tissues. Once they've chopped into the dead body, this is a house where they cannibalize. That's what I'm allowed to say on the internet. Now, also what's going on in floor one, I can say exactly when. It was the worst that I've witnessed it in the recent past. It's not the only time. It's not the worst time. It's not the only and worst time. Nothing like that. But it is a really strong time. It was one of the bad times. One of the good times. I mean, good. Like they're doing a good job down there with their fucking manufactured chemical stenches. It's not the only time, okay? And there's been times where it was even stronger with manufactured chemical stenches. And I'm not allowed to say on a radius, how strong it is. But yesterday, I am allowed to say when. Yesterday, the entire first floor. I can't say where on the first floor. I'm just going to be able to say what floor inside of this property. The first floor had so many manufactured chemical stenches stuffed under the floor and stuffed into the walls of the area where I ID'd it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe these fucking terrorists. That was yesterday. It's hell on earth. Hell on earth in here. And I'm not ever allowed to talk about the manufactured chemical stenches because they're so deadly. It is not my department, and I have no right to start talking about them unless authorized. Okay? That same manufactured chemical stench is hooked up to my toilet in the bathroom on floor 2. That problem has been ongoing and is a serious problem. All right? I'm allowed to say that now, today, but I'm not allowed to say how long, except at least a couple weeks. It's been critical. The manufactured chemical stenches and the water pressure coming from my toilet in bathroom floor 2, it's way more complex than that. That is why I'm not allowed to talk about manufactured chemical stenches whatsoever at all. But they're packing them in here and they're still making them and they're still trying to use them against people. I'm one of the people they target those manufactured chemical stenches with. All right, and this is all continuing to go on and all still protected by the United States government. That's the Department of Justice, that's the White House, that's just all name it. Your Pentagon's the main culprits here. Your Pentagon officials are due diligently protecting this terrorist cell to this very day from ever even being searched, raided, any terrorists being arrested, any terrorists being questioned. Absolutely any sort of due process of law has yet to ever happen, to my knowledge, with anybody who I've seen do the most egregious, violent criminal acts here. They just come and go like they own the world. And that is all I can still testify that they're doing. And I'm forbidden from talking about anything in the city. That's the sidewalks, that's the backyards, that's the weather. I can't tell you a thing. All right, so moving on. So we got manufactured chemical stenches packed in on floor 1. Like, they're not kidding here with that. And then you got the corpses just stuffed everywhere, and the combat has been so intense where it takes your breath away, you cover your mouth, your eyes are bulging out, you're staring over to the direction of where it happened on floor 1 or upstairs on floor 3, just for example, just as an example of where I would be looking with my hand covering my mouth in astonishment, right? And all you do is you just say, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because this shit is so serious, one would ask, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? So that's when I have to check and see, what am I supposed to do? This is getting really fucking serious in here. And then they just keep packing those corpses that I hear go down in this combat that I do unequivocally concrete witness inside of this property. They keep stuffing them now right in my extra room. And you stand there, it's all it takes. And it's worse and worse and worse as you go down to the floor. So when I pet my cat, it's just unbearable. I'm breathing through my mouth. The corpses and the chemical dissolvent are so out of control and atrocious that are now being stationed and used in my main room underneath the floors. Okay, so as far as the objects that are propelled and shooting, that is still ongoing. And I can't say at what pace, but it's worse coming from 1511 where they are doing the drilling, the sneaking in. They think they're quiet, sneaking in underneath my chair, working, doing construction, all that sort of stuff and things. And then the poison, chemical gas, making me think I'm dying. Poison has not stopped. It has increased, but I can't say how much has increased, but to the point where I'm begging for mercy. I can say that. It has increased, it has not stopped, and I can't talk about that at all. If I were to go out of bounds and start talking about the chemical gas, poisonous gas, I'd be in a lot of trouble, so I cannot do that. Okay, that's what I'm allowed to say. This goes on and on and on and on here. The people are absolutely deranged. Enjoy your TV. Everybody in the United States, enjoy your TV because that TV causes utter destruction in your country and you deserve it. You deserve it.